today we're talking about the fact that my dad died 7 days ago. And this week for me has been a week of reflection, of remembering, of processing, of all sorts of emotions that have come up. So you're welcome to join 1-800-771-1025. If you don't want to, you just want to listen, that's cool too. This isn't a sad show like, oh, I'm so sad. Though I'm super grateful for the comments and all just the love and support I've received this week from friends who I haven't talked to in a long time. That's a very special part of the grieving process. So back to Tesla. So one of the things that's inexplicable over the last 7 days that I just allowed to happen was things would pop up that I just kind of went with. And one of the things that popped up was all I wanted to listen to, probably Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, was 80s music. That's all I wanted to listen to. And I found this like lost 80s playlist on Spotify, and I just hit it on shuffle. And dude, it was like there was a couple things that came up. One was these songs would pop on that I hadn't heard in forever, ever. And it took me back to being in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and like, kissing a girl for the first time or having crushes on these girls and all these things. I could not have predicted that. Like, it wasn't like an intentional thing. It just happened. And when I was listening to one playlist, a hairbands song came on. I think it was Great White or somebody like that. And I was reminded, I was like, wow, man, there was like a period of my life from like 85 to 89 where all I listened to, the majority of what I listened to were hairbands. So Rat, Motley Crue, and Christmas, I don't know, 86, 87, I got Tesla's cassette, mind you, of the album that has that song Modern Day Cowboy on it, Mechanical Resonance. And I ended up being a pretty big Tesla fan at that window of my life, and I left that window a long time ago. I like to think that my musical taste has gotten a lot better, but not judging. So Tuesday afternoon, I'm doing some stuff around the house. I'm like clearing my mind. I'm just doing stuff. And I'm noticing that I'm getting super irritated, like I'm super frustrated. Like little things are really setting me off. And you know me well enough to know I'm a pretty even-keeled person.
Yeah.
Like I don't like, even when I get frustrated, it's sometimes hard to know that I'm frustrated because I'll be like, yes, I'm frustrated.
It's so true, dude.
But this was like, holy crap. Like I was like short fuse. I was trying to do stuff. And one of the things that set me off is I had to replace a sprinkler, and I pulled it out of a box that I got from Lowe's. It was clearly something that they shoved back in the box. It was rusted. And I was like, this son of a bitch, they put this back on the shelf. So I got in the truck, and as I'm leaving the house, Tanya was like, hey, we need some like peas and carrots or something from Whole Foods. And I was like, oh, I got to go to Whole Foods too? Really? Right now? So I get in the truck and I drive to Lowe's, and I go to the like counter, and I'm like, do you see this? Like they should not have put this back on the shelf. She's like, sir, I'm so sorry. Go get another one. I was like, yes. And I felt bad because like these people don't know that my dad just died.
Yeah.
But I was like, and I actually had a thought standing in Lowe's. I was like, I don't think I should be interacting with other humans right now. And so I took this back, and I got in the truck, and it was funny because I checked it out, and I ripped open this box at the checkout, and I was like, oh, okay, it looks good. Got back in the truck.
Looks brand new. Thank you.
Yeah. And I drove from Lowe's on 22nd Avenue in St. Pete to the Whole Foods on 38th Avenue in St. Pete. So it's a, I don't know, whatever that is, 5-10 minute drive. And Tesla's Modern Day Cowboy came up on this playlist. And dude, I could not listen to it loud enough. I was cranking the speakers in my truck. I'm pretty sure I blew a speaker because I had my phone connected, turned my phone up as loud as it could go. I turned my stereo up as loud as it could go. I turned the windows down. And you've often shared those moments for you of driving across a bridge and how peaceful and serene. That was not this.
Yeah.
I was listening to this so loud. And on 38th Avenue, I started crying.
Yeah.
I just started I just could not hold it in. And it was like this moment of like, what is happening right now? And I made it to Whole Foods, and I'm like pulling up in the Whole Foods parking lot with all these liberals and all these people in their BMWs. And I got my black truck with the windows down. And I'm cranking this Tesla song.
While crying.
While literally crying. whoever saw me in that moment was
were
like, what is up with that?
We got to get out of Whole Foods, man.
This guy is dangerous. Dude, I just was like, I had a moment. It was almost like an out of body moment of like, what is going on right now? This is a song I've probably not heard in 20 years. It's affecting me in a weird way. This was a band I really, really liked, but I didn't see this moment coming at all. And when I got home and I told Tanya this, and then I talked to my daughter that night, I told her about it, and both of them said the same thing. Their advice to me was, it's okay. Like, just let it happen. Like, and that was a kind of a transformative moment throughout this week for me. That's where I was like, oh, I'm just going to let this happen. I'm just going to see whatever else comes up. Like, if that came up, if I'm crying, looking like a homicidal maniac, listening to Tesla, like what else is there?
Yeah.
Like, what else is in Pandora's box of my emotion? Like, let's go. And what's like, that was, I don't want to say it was like the low point, because I don't think it was a low point. I think it was just a point. But I never, like, everything after that was seemingly more reflective. It's seemingly more clear. Like, I almost needed to have that, like, weird nostalgia crying moment in the middle of a Whole Foods parking lot to, like, I don't know, open up the rest of the things that happened Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday, even to this conversation you and I are having right now. Like, it was all just kind of like one thing led to another.
Yeah.
Which was
no
pretty
coincidences.
Cool.
Yeah. I love that. And I also love the way I see things. And I'm going to share this with you. This is what I love about life and the universe is, we grow up, and I know everybody's heard, your inner child. You got to take care of your inner child when you grow up. But I've come to realize that it's a two-way street. And oftentimes when I feel at my worst, I will get signs like that from my inner child, letting me know as an adult, I'm okay. I'm still going to be okay. There is still this kid that connects with everything in the world, just like I did when I was younger. And even though that this moment is pure chaos and I don't know what is happening, it's going to be okay. And that's a lot of what childhood is like. You have no idea what's happening. You're dependent on, two adults, your parents.
Yes.
And when you get put back there and your inner child gets to take care of you for a little bit, that's magic, because now as an adult with the conscious mind to look at things with a new perspective, you're given a good little pause to do that. Yeah,
my inner child was feeling all the feels when I was driving across town. Like, and I think for whatever reason that I was like, oh, I just want to listen to 80s music, and like lost 80s music that I purposefully haven't heard in a long time. It just brought up all the stuff, which brought me to something I want to talk about next, is that all the memories that I have of that time in my life, none of them included my dad. The memories that came up were like middle school, and like I said earlier, the first girl I ever kissed, or the first crush I ever had, or all those things. But none of them were like, oh, me and dad fishing, or me and dad doing this thing. Like, that wasn't part of it. But I think it was a necessary thing to happen. Like, and I got to a point where I was like, well, why are none of these memories about my dad? And that's where Tanya was like, it doesn't matter.
Well, it doesn't matter, but I love the thought. I believe that our purpose here is to become whole and, to become part of our highest self and live lovingly, unconditional, and all that. And the only way to do that, in my opinion, is you do have to go back sometimes to the past and pick up pieces that you've left behind and bring them back and integrate them into you to become whole. So if you believe that, then, Michael, I ask you, what is it that you left behind that you are now looking at that you need to heal and pick up and move forward with?
That's a good question, and I will ponder that. But let me tell you, those memories that I was experiencing while I was listening to this music this past week, none of them were negative. They were all positive. Yeah. They just didn't include my dad, which I thought was interesting.
It is interesting.
Maybe there is something, and there is probably something there that I can speak to next.